Okay, here's the first video for 6-1, part 1 and example 1, and then a U-try. We're talking about the trig functions, sine, cosine, and tangent. We're getting into some trig stuff, okay? So first thing we're interested in is how do we actually remember what these trig ratios are in these new co-functions, or they're actually called reciprocal functions right here. You'll see how those are here in just a second. But remember, whenever you're talking about right triangles, you're always interested in an acute angle. The acute angle we're interested in is always our reference angle. That's where we label everything. One of the acute angles, not the right angle, one of the acute angles. And we're going to call that the Greek letter theta, T-H-E-T-A, theta. Okay, so remember, whenever we get our reference angle, then the wall across, like if you're standing in a room, the wall across is the opposite. The one right next to you, it's next to you, that stands for adjacent. And you always have to remember the hypotenuse is always across from that angle. Okay, so you also have a little thing you can remember, SOHCAHTOA, if you remember that from years past, that can help you remember these basic three right here. Sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is equal to the length of the adjacent side over the length of the hypotenuse. And it's always lengths, the lengths of the sides. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. Now I always like to write my notes like this because then these are reciprocal trig functions. The reciprocal of sine is cosecant, and it's just the reciprocal of this fraction. So cosecant is hypotenuse over opposite. You see how that's the reciprocal of that number? Cosine is hypotenuse over adjacent, and cotangent is adjacent over opposite. Those are always reciprocals. So how do we put this into use on example 1 right here? Let's say I have this right triangle with angle theta right there. What's the sine of theta? Sine of theta is opposite over hypotenuse, so that's going to be 4 over 5. The cosecant is just going to be the reciprocal of that, 5 over 4. Honestly, boys and girls, I don't even remember how to find these things. I just write my 6-way grid like this. I remember how to find SOHCAHTOA, and then I just take the reciprocals for these over here. Cosine of theta is 3 over 5. And so that means the secant of theta is 5 over 3. The tangent of theta is opposite over adjacent, so 4 over 3. And so the cotangent is going to be the reciprocal of that, which is 3 over 4. Okay, so here is a U-try. Pause the video and see if you can write all 6 ratios for this right triangle. Let me get it up there so you can see it. Pause. Okay, now how did you do? They should all be like that. Okay, that's it for this video.